Good evening, good evening. This is Martin Wong here, and I'd like to welcome you to the live Facebook. It's good to be back, and I was away for a couple of days for a business trip, but I'm here now, and thank you for coming. And I want to see if you are listening loud and clear. Just pencil in and let me know that you are online. That's right. So this is good evening, Hami. Good evening. All right, so let's get started tonight for another interesting topic, which will be talking about the KLCI and how we fare going forward in here. So thank you for coming. Good evening, and a little bit of administration in here. And of course, those of you who are listening tonight, do share this comment in your timeline so more people can enjoy it. And let's get started, shall we? Okay, and I don't want to take too much of your time. So the live Facebook is back, and tonight we'll be talking about decoding the market puzzle, which we all been seeing. What's really been happening in this KLCI market, which we saw many of the so-called regional market, which is doing much better than KLCI, especially in this context in the US market. But I also want to bring you to what's really on tonight's agenda is what's actually happening to our local Bursa, the KLCI, and should we ignore this current bear market that we have, or should we be ready for bullish case for the KLCI? What do you think? Right? Shall we looking into the bullishness of the market, and if it's so, where are the trading opportunity right now for the VSA trader and investor, especially those of you who are new, first time in here? We welcome you to the segment, or more into the world of trading using the VSA signal in here, and we will also do a summary and a closing. But let's take a look at the KLCI now, and I do hope that those of you who are currently watching on your video, all right, watching on so much so that you are able to perhaps put this in what we call a bigger screen. Okay, now let me just go through with you. The purple color that you see here is the Nasdaq chart, which is up 39%. Then you have the Dow Jones, which is only up 3%, which is very similar to some of the markets that we have here. Only technology has done pretty well for these cases in here. And also, not to forget, we have the JCI, which is the Indonesia. And then you have the FST, that's the Singapore SGX, and Singapore is down 2%. The Jakarta index is down 2%, from the January 2nd, and KLCI is down -6%. And also you can see it also, which I've talked about in the VSA 360, we've been having 6 consecutive down market in here, and it's just sort of amazing to see. This is perhaps one of the worst performing market, just below SET, the Thailand index -7% in here. Now, if you look back, I've been doing very hard as my part of a speaker in here, and also fellow VSA trader, in helping you to guide through this difficult market. And if you were set your so-called investing horizon just on the local market, the FTX, JCI or FEM, then you will really be in a real struggle. Now, way back in January 11, I was already talking about whether the market crash or boom. This is the timeline that we have. But of course, on hindsight, right now, the market did not crash. Instead, it went actually higher. But in between, I also updated many of you with, if those of you can see it in the screen here, even going forward, February 15, on the live Facebook, right? You can check out the live Facebook that I've done. Market was correcting now, as we can see in February 22nd. I've talked about the rise of the AI stock. That was way back in February. I've talked about this, and then on February 22nd of March, I talked about the banking crisis, and there were many worries from our audience and those of you who are listening tonight in here. Where will we? And of course, I continue to guide them, and I start talking about the tech stock way back on the 29th of March, right? 29th of March, and then going forward, there were still a lot of people looking into this market and saying that, hey, how can we be bullish? Well, you can see the rest of the market were pretty much sideways, and that's always been this tone for the last 6 months that we've seen, the last 6 months in here. And again, of course, you will be wondering, where are we likely to be heading on the second half of 2023? And let's perhaps do a crystal ball forecast in here. But at the same time, I continue to guide many of our audience in here to tech stocks, and tech stocks continue to go up in here. Many of them did not see the kind of foresight they will see, and there was a transition from a sell on the high usually we have when the market were rallying to buying on the dip in here, right? And then finally June 14, pretty much what the mass market, especially the media in here, has confirmed that the US bull market is here. And remember, when you get good news, all right, good news, what generally happens when you get good news? Right now, when you get good news, generally happen is that you were likely to see a bit of profit taking coming in place. But I do think that the so-called bull market is still intact. All right, it's pretty much still intact in here. And for those of you, what do you think? Let me know what you think in here. Pencil your thoughts in here, and I'd like to see what you think. Should we still get this bullish market again in the context of the US side? And you can see pretty much where we are, the rest of the world. We are still in a downwards market. That we can see here, horizontal line is the zero market. And this is what the situation has been. So looking at the KLCI now, a bigger chart in here, definitely you can see we do have resistance at 1390, which is this level in 140. We have two very important, and many of you who know this sign of weakness. What are those two bars that you see there? Right, those are uptrust bars. You can see here, the last time we had this uptrust bar and the uptrust bar, the market really went down. And now we have uptrust bar and the uptrust bar. We were expecting a very similar downtrend, but the market is holding up, and that's why I'm starting to turn bullish. And of course, we did have this big bullish selling in here, but that was actually a disguise of a wash, right? You can see it's a 2-bar reversal testing to the low side, but did not test the low of this level in here. And now the market seems to be pushing up and going higher, right? You can see that in here. But going forward, there is a critical level if we want this market to move higher. Hi Nora, thank you. And to really move upwards, since we are in the green pentagon, we want the takeout of the UT, which is very critical. This 2-bar here, that's around the 1400. And of course today markets remain to be very muted in here, not moving much. Now of course on the VSA 360, those of you who have it, you can definitely see one reason why this was causing this real problem is the flow of the foreign players. There's really none. You can see the 2 days ago we have a sharp up move. That's the one that actually turned up even the KLCI to very positive, was due to this bar in here. And you could see we have positive 80 million buyers, but for the most of it, we've been really having a lot of outflow. That pretty much explains why the market, you can see here, the big sell-off, usually the big sell-off here correspond to here, and you can see correspond to here. And then when the big buying, right, the market will push back up. So of course, you all would know that I've talked about the ringgit getting weaker by the day, and this is also due to the China market GDP growth hasn't been that fantastic and slowing down in the economy, pulling the rest of the region down. And especially our ringgit is pretty much correlated to the Chinese yuan, with a stronger US dollar against Chinese yuan, and that's why we are getting the weaker currency flow that we've seen right now. Now if you look at this chart in here, this is from the Maybank IBG research with D-bots. You can see here there is a very good distinction between the net sellers and net buyers. Okay, net buyers is on the left hand side of the chart, net buyers here. Net sellers is on the right hand side of the, so you can see on terms of the FBM 30, right, many of the foreign fund has been selling the banking stocks. Public Bank, CIMB Bank, RHB Bank, Hong Leong Bank, right, and Allianz Bank. You can see there's a pattern here, and also Genting, they've been really selling, but Public Bank has been the biggest sellers in terms of the market. Is it because the reflection of a very bad management that we see in here since the passing of Tay Hong Piao? But I do believe this is a temporary kind of thing, and if you're longer term on Public Bank, I would think that this market would come back. But then again, Public Bank has been down for almost 5 to 6 years, but if you have held on to the earlier part of the year, you would have made money on that. Now, in terms of the net buy, you could see these are reflected more to the domestic demands kind of thing, like Gambunda, because of the projects, which is the LRT3 that you see. Airport is also the reopening of the so-called economy, Celcom DG, of the merging of those two, YTL being increased utility in here. NationGate has one of the best IPO performer, KPJ, again infrastructure relating more to the healthcare, Westport, Heineken, Frontcan, DIY, these are more of the cost consumer. And right at the below here is also Chin Hin, which is one of the stocks we talk very common on the Friday segment of our Breakfast Show Insider Buying in here. So if you are in the KLCA market, and you would have made a lot of money if you have gone into the IPO market. That's right, the IPO market on the main and ace board closes at an average of 85% premium in here. Again, another report from the analyst in here up to 30th of June. And 5 best technology stock with an average price of 147% from its least prices in here. All right, so that is something to be taken attention, especially technology. So you might want to say, IPO, how to get it right. One way to play it is definitely through the balloting in here, but it's kind of difficult. And usually when it comes to buying in the market, then it takes another set of skill, able to cut loss and able to write the kind of profit in there. And that's what been the IPO market. Now, if you look at it, IPO has been the best place to be for the KLCI market in here. Netgate, almost doubling, 268%, 233 Wells, TTHB 200, Opstar, EdTech, ADB, CB, CloudPoint, and of course there are some that is losing money. These are probably consumer, which I've talked about. Your property. If you have gone to property and construction, you would have lost money in here comparing to the pink. So technology is the growth, and that's why I set up the first slide to be technology driven in here. Now, how did our big cap stock fare so far, right? Our big cap stock, which is the FBM 30 that we see. Let's use the VSA 360 in here to really find out how well they have fared. And of course, let me just bring it up here. Just move it to this. What I can do is just switch it on to here, and you can see right at the chart side by side. So you can see RHB switching to a weekly chart. It has been pretty much a downtrend, since we have this even early back to January downtrend again. That's for RHB, so that also explains RHB. So it means it's been heading up a downside. So CIMB Bank, you can see this one here, still a downtrend. And the Pentagon Guider hasn't been very responsive on the downtrend market. Do take note, when the market is on the downtrend market, Pentagon Guider tend to be not responsive at all. But it's on the uptrend, it is. After all, it is a trend following system in here. But if you look at it, the negative, the yellow trend zone has been much better. So right now we still have this yellow trend zone and denoted by the red pentagon. All right, red pentagon in here. Let's take a look at Maybank. And you can see Maybank perhaps is one of the better one, but it is still trending sideways market. And of course, last but not least is Public Bank, which we all said that Public Bank has been a major seller we see in terms of the foreign fund outflow. That's why we have Public Bank. But again, all these are right now are presenting an opportunity. Take note, this is an opportunity. If you are longer term on the market, these does present some very good value in here. And of course, you don't want to buy those chains up. You can have a good well balance with the technology stock as well as the banking stock, because when the banking stock rotate into the trending that we see last year, that will definitely be good. But pretty much of this year, you could see the technology stocks which has been doing much better in here. All right, so we've done that with here. Now let's take a look at what are the opportunity in the FBMCI, and one of the papers clipping on the Business Star, and I totally agreed from them. The player are experiencing recovery, because what we have seen so far from the market is the continued downtrend. It's because of the loans they've been getting in hasn't been that great. So right now the analyst is turning bullish, and they will continue to write something that is very positive on the banking stock. So banking may be coming up from a low side, and that does presents you a very good opportunity. And they are kind of these analysts because of the banks are raising the interest rate in here, and they usually do profit better on the interest rate rise. And as such, you can see the finance stock, which really been a massive downtrend, started to push up, and they are coming up from a very low base here around the 15,000. And this is again from VSA 360. You can get a copy of this, or want to get a free trial through a 10-day trial in our website. You can also check this out. So this has been the 6-month downtrend. You can see finally started to build a pretty nice base in here, and it is a low risk to reward in the long run entry. And another stock which we need to take a look, since we are looking in the Bursa, is the manufacturing. The manufacturing seems to be growing only 2% as per today's report in here, compared to 8% in 2022. So that's almost down, you can say, almost down by 65% in here. And that's pretty much speaks the volume of why we can see in the KLCI right now. We can see the banking stocks hasn't been doing too well, but it is coming up again from a very low base in here. So far, having said that, we have seen the last 6 months in the KLCI has come down a fair bit and again reflected in the chart here. So right now you can see many of you would have know what I'm trying to pass this message in here. You can see chart wise it has turned green pentagon. This is slightly a bit more responsive, but again this bar in here was broken and the market continued to fall. But right now the market is coming up from again the industrial product coming from a low base in here around the 162.5 level in here, and again presents a very low risk to reward in the long term. Again, those of you in the long term, again, this is a low risk reward in here, and technology stocks started to move back up. So why this is important, we actually look at the sectors in here, and that presents you with another alternative to this market. So you can see right now the market has a green pentagon and then red pentagon in here, and very soon technology would turn green pentagon very soon. And of course you can see from the US side, which I presented to you earlier on, the charts, Nasdaq has up almost 36%, while the KLCI is only down about 6% in here. So the technology would eventually put on it. So with tonight, how are we going to find your next opportunity? And of course, many of you are familiar with the Pentagon Guided Screener that you see on SmartRobie, but you have not seen the NS stand for No Supply, Sign of Strength, and 18-day line change. These are what we call the stage 2 shares. All right, so it's important that we select the stocks that is about to go up. Remember, stage 2 shares, and NS presents the what we call the midterm pullback before we move on to the 18-day line change where the stock started to move up. So there are two types of market trend in here. So let's take a look at something that I've talked about previously, right, in the 12th of June. 12th of June, this was one of the stocks that actually pops up in here looking for NS. And again, the rule that I'm going to present to you, it's important. You can take a picture of this, of the next one. But we go back on the 12th of June, which is almost about 3 weeks ago in here. And what we are looking for is choosing those stocks that is with green pentagon. So the rule for good setup of an NS is that they must display NS bar, okay, must be in a green pentagon or blue trend zone in here. And how we select it is make sure we get a green LT, a green LT, which means we want the longer term that the market started to pull back up in here. And purple is good, but we prefer the green color here, green color here. You can see the green column LT, right? Green column LT and a purple color LT. And next thing is, because NS is a very low risk to high reward in here, we need that trade to run by itself. You can see some of the trades in here will take some time to run, and you might want to hold it for a month or two. So this is very, very good for those people who have very, very low tolerance of risk. Now, if you're low tolerance to risk, give me a thumbs up, right? Low tolerance to risk means you don't want to take so much risk. This is definitely a very, very suitable types of stocks you want to be looking at. Just give me a thumbs up so I will know that this is the right kind of stocks in here. So you can see some good example of a setup of NS. And on top of me here, probably I have to move this up in here. Let me just move this up a bit. Okay, and you can see here is the NS screener in here. They're looking for green in here, and SMARTRobie is $4 lah. SMARTRobie is $4, so generally very hard for it to come. So you can see JF Tech took some time, but it started to move up to 14% in here. All right, so those are something you want to pay attention to. Next we have is NS for Sunview. Again, it came out on the 26th of May. Again, we need it some time to bake, just like you want to make a very good rendam. Very good rendam. You also need to slowly cook your rendam kan. Kalau nak masak rendam kan, mestilah ada masa. So this is also the same thing juga. So you can see from the 26th of May, it took some time for Sunview to go up, and there was two NS. First one, and then a second NS going up in here. Kita mesti ada masa untuk semua ini, okay. So that was Sunview on the 26th of May, and then SL West also, you can see SL West from here 25% gain on the Pentagon signal. See from the Pentagon in here, SL West, and also this is also rhymed together with the recovery that we see in the US in here. SL West has gone back to $1.20 because there's a lot of project that was very, very good for SL West in here. And we can also check the VSA 360 from here onwards, right? SL West, how well is SL West, and do we see what we are interested is the where we got it. See 4.7, 10.8 sold 10 million. Oh, somebody sold here 4.7 million, 400k, 3.7 million, 400k, 630,000, and there's a call to buy on the 30th of June. But earlier here, we can go back to 6 months and check out some of these buy call. But definitely in here, there was a lot of buying, which does explain why this market can go up. So paired together with Pentagon and with our insider buying and selling in the 360 in here, then you will see how powerful this would make a difference in here. Of course, this screener picks up on the when this green Pentagon comes out. That's right here on the 15th of May, around 94 cents. So that's another one is National Gate. This is one of the first IPO stock that came out. It picks it up on the 15th of June. All right, 15th of June with a 15% gain here. So let's take a look here from National Gate. So you can see from here, National Gate, and this was a nice green Pentagon here. 126 started to move up, right? And there was also a call to buy from UOB Kay Hang at 183. If that is quite true, then this stock right now is trading at which is a good reward to risk, 1.5, and the stock price is at 144. Okay, 144 with the change of in here. Okay, this is something interesting for those of you looking in here. So let's take a look tonight for the next trade opportunity of NS, and some good example I've spotted out was on 14th of June, 15th of June, 27th and 23rd. So this is what we're going to do. So we go over to the screener, we go over to the NS in here, and you can see we also check out what's for tomorrow, but I want to show you some example that we have on the 14th. Okay, so 14 in here, and you might see what are these color, right? This color that shows you the KLCI is in green pentagon, and usually we recommend many of our members to trade when you see the green pentagon in here. So that's why you see this green pentagon is blue trend zone, red pentagon is the yellow in here. So this is where you want to be looking, and you can look back far back now, because this is a trade that you want to look a bit far back. And when you click submit, you can see here this is a win rate of 50%, and let me just pull this up a bit here. All right, and you could see from this chart here, up to 17% return for UEM, and you can see this is where the NS happened here. So you just mouse it over, and let me just push it up here, mouse it over, and you can see this is a very nice. First of all, remember what rules do we want to look for? Okay, so the rules, we go back to here, just want to make sure those of you, the member who have, is display NS bar, must have green pentagon, blue trend zone, green column LT and purple LT, and you need to have patience. And once you have that patience in here, like I explained here on the NS, and okay, this one here, and then you will get the kind of gain you have. And if you have a loss, of course you don't win all the time, it's only a minus 1% loss. Okay, and this was on the 14th of June, so you just mouse over here. 14th of June is a what do you see here? Okay, you will see this, let me just push it up a bit. Okay, 14th of June were this bar here, this one here. That's right, 14th of June was a yellow trend zone, so yellow trend zone you would avoid it. So it's 100% win already for this one, just buying on UM property. Then on the 15th, okay, all right, 15, and you could see what is our win rate. 75% win rate. Move it up, so it has a very high win rate, which means it has 4 stocks in here. All 4 stocks, 3 out of 4 make money. And of course the highest, let me just try to see if I can make this smaller, but yes, push this a bit. Now you can see better. Okay, so here you can see it is a 10% return. And where is the NS? This NS appeared on the 15th of June. So you just mouse over, you can see NS, somewhere around here. Okay, but it hasn't turned green pentagon yet, but the trend is still up. Only finally turned green pentagon here. Okay, there was a NS by a line change, very strong. Okay, then next one was the big winner that we have here, 32%, a construction company, 32% VCE again. The NS also happened on, is that an NS? Yes, it did happen on a yellow trend zone. All right, but you can still wait until the red pentagon, green pentagon here, and then perhaps you only enter that. Then Yeheng, this was a minus 3% loss, right? And you can see Glucoland a 2% win. So you can see the winners are bigger, the losses are smaller. Certainly very suitable for those of you who are looking to trade here. Let's look at the 27th of June for one more before we go to the next screener here. Okay, 27th of June. I know that I'm picking some of the good examples. There are some stocks that didn't do so well, but you can always check it out in here. You can get a free trial and check out some of the dates in here. But just want to show you some stocks that trade very well. This one is 0.31%, and this is a 1% return. And right now this is almost 0% return. Okay, because this one is only 27th of June in here, and you want to go back those stocks that is far back. So with this NS, generally if you follow the strict trading rules in here, the chance of making money of profiting are very good in here. All right, so that's the NS. And remember, what are the rules? The rules is make sure you have an NS bar, make sure you have the green pentagon in here, and make sure you want to have time on that sort. All right, check it out in here. Now we're going to go into the second screener to look for that kind of opportunity. Would be our stage 2 shares. And again, why we want to pick stage 2 shares? Because the KLCI is sort of stage 1, right? And it was still downtrend, right? So what we want to do is that we want to be selective in picking a stage 2 shares, that is a markup shares, and the other one is the 18-day line change. Okay, the 18-day line change in here. So again, we go to a couple of the good setup. You can see the setup actually picks up. Again, must display the 18-day line change, green pentagon, blue trend zone in here, green column LT and purple LT. Basically, we want to select the green, all right, the green here, LT, and the purple LT in here. All right, again, of course, not all trades make money in here. So let's take a look at the win rates. Is more than 50%, and you could see the 18-day line change VSA 360 screener is on the 26th. All right, so we just go to screener here, 18-day line change here. You can see me doing that. Okay, and just minimize this, and the date we are looking at is the 26th of June. All right. Just go back to last week. So you can see from here, the win rate is about 60%. Okay, the win rate is about 60%, and there is a thing called PGTP. Okay, PGTP is what we look for in terms of filtering out those stocks that has good volume in here. Right, so we want to sort it out here. So PTRB, this is just a 2% loss. You would have got in on VCEHB on the 18-day line chain, and you'll be about 24%. Not bad, 24%. Tenko, 6% in here. Tenko was unfortunate. You can see here, I don't even need to go to the chart because it actually goes up higher, but then you have a big sell-off here. All right, sometimes they do happen in here. And next one, we have Naim, 51%. Wow, this one too much already lah. Right, 51%. And bila ini semua 26th of June, 26th of June, Naim, finally, Sailang sudah datang. So what you gotta do is, get hold of the VSA in here, and you can just mouse over it, and you can pick up the stocks very, very fast. No need to open semua chart here. That's why we make it so easy to screen the chart in here. You can see here, this one is 0.7%, but you got the idea, right? You have the idea. So this is why non-Sharia, that's right, some of these, so when you pick any stock, make sure it has the 18-day line change, because the KLCI market is down, isn't it, right? When it's down, we want to pick those shares that goes up. And let's take a look at this. Infomag, just 1%, we don't look at BIMB, 2% loss, you can see, right? 2%. Uchitech, no change. So big winner, small loser. Big winner, small loser. Big winner, small loser. Okay, let's take a look at another date. 27th of June. Tiap-tiap hari pun ada punya. Okay, 27th of June here. And we have 37.5% win rate, which means out of the stocks we have 37. But if you switch on to PGTP, do we improve it? Yes, we improve it to 66%. So from here onwards, you kind of want to see, this is 5% in here. Silver Ridge, this one is Conman one, this one Smart Money one, still going up, right? Yep. So just be careful, okay? Then we have this one, Ken Hing, 0.8%. So this was on, it did went straight up on this line change, but finally the next day, it didn't move back up from here. So usually line change, we enter below. Besok, okay. Sign, we have line change, and this one is giving us a 3% loss. So you can see from here, losses are small, biggers are big, and this is how generally what is trading is all about in here. Okay. Now definitely for sure, we can also look it for tonight. Yes, 5th of June. 5th of June sudah ada adi. Okay, this is for tomorrow. So you can see, wow, many stocks, 26%. And of course, win rate is 0 lah. Right, because we do not know the future yet, right? So if you go back and you do a series of back tests, you can actually find it here. So again, we can use PGTP, right, to narrow it down in here, and you got 10 entries. Okay, next thing you want to do is to look for the green and first of all the LT and the we have Samaden, CY Park. So all these are coming out. Samaden, okay, CY Park, okay. Now the chart is not updated yet, that's why you only see one. Once the chart is updated, you'll see the complete one, because right now the process is still going on. So maybe what we do, if we go to the 4th of June, see is the same or not? Yes, you can see that, right? That's why it's slightly different. So you can see from the 4th of June, in this manner in here, just semalam punya, not updated yet, but we just go to PGLT and we sort it out, and you're left with Penta. Oh, Penta already turned, Penta, nice. Okay, so let's mouse over it first. Okay, will come out soon. Samadan, Dayang, there you go. Penta, okay, Penta is starting to turn 18-day line change, so that would be great. Okay, then you have Dayang also. Okay, so these are the lists that you can use it in here. A couple of stocks we have in here, and you can come back and take a look at it too, right? So so why this is important is because, oh, National Gate is also here too. All right, National Gate is here, and this market is ready to push up. The National Gate is ready to push up, and you have also ECEA. Those of you who like this kind of penny stocks, 135 and ECA, you can pick it up right now at 18-day line change. So how do you like it so far? Right, this 18-day line change screener. Remember, losses are small, winners are big, and sometimes you get a big one like the 50% is great, but if you're down with losses 3 or 4%, I think it's still bearable. And that's what trading is really all about. You can put Penta, very nice one, starting to break up in here. You can have it 4th, 5th of July in here, started to move up, and that's something I generally like about this kind of stock. So I hope you all learned something new about the 18-day line change in here, one of the screeners that we have, and to put you in an uptrust, what we call a stage 2 shares, stage 2 shares in here. Now, of course, during bull and bear market, be very careful when you're listening to others for tips, and that's also including me. So normally we want to tell our student and a member, always have a plan, where to go in, and invest in good tools like what I've just shared with you, the 18-day line change, or the very famous that is made popular by my senior trainer Zach, right, the NS no supply screener, that would put you in a very, very strong position going forward, all right, in here. And because the market will have its up and down, and if you pick a nice stage 2 share like what you see in here, this is where the market's going to go higher and higher in here. Now, of course, some of the stocks I talk about on 7th of June, AI stock, C3 AI, AMD, Google, MST, Nvidia, they are still valid. They are still valid. And then on the 24th of May, I talk about these stocks. Let's take a look at them. Some of these stocks. Bring it up here. You can see MS. Just move this up a bit here. Okay, MSFT. Right. And make sure you have the green pentagon, so you can move on to the green pentagon in here. You can see market got NS also. Check this out, also got NS, green pentagon in here, right? So what do you think? Let's take a look at Apple. All right, Apple got NS. No, yeah, got one NS also. You see here, also jalan nanti. All right, early on got but better one. You see NS here. See this NS jalan up to here. See this NS? Yes, very powerful one. As long as, remember, NS, green pentagon, low risk to reward, and sit and wait for it. Alright, so some of these here. Then you have Nvidia. I think earlier got some NS. Now got NS, you see that? But not yet green pentagon. Remember, sometimes they turn green pentagon, they will jalan. But we got 2 UT here. So these 2 UT are very, very strong in the resistance in here. Thank you, Nora. Invest in good tools. Same thing also lah. When we want to go out and do fishing pula, we don't buy all those cheap tools. We invest in good fishing rod. Then you catch the fish and come back. So now let's move and pay attention to the KLCI right now. Alright, so the KLCI right now, you know, is sideways market, but you need to have these 4 criteria. Now, if you have these 4 criteria, then you would know the Bursa is ready for an up move. Kalau tidak, you can see US market naik-naik saja. Kita punya market akan tepi-tepi sideways saja. So you need to have these 4 criteria. First, very important, I think you all know lah, the low to moderate political risk. What is the political risk right now here? Alright, what do you think? The political risk. Especially we have state election coming, right? Then next thing is the confidence for the market. Then the PE will start to jalan. But ever since we have this new government under Pakatan Harapan, the confidence yet to be instilled. And how do we know that? Look at the foreign funds buying and selling. What has the foreign fund been doing? Not only in Malaysia, but also in the region. They really don't have much of confidence or very, very low confidence in the scheme of things. And then next thing is the earnings power, right? So the earnings power, we already said before already, just now, a lot of the manufacturing, last year 8%, right? Remember I showed you those 8%. This year, they are talking about 2% only growth, 2023. So we don't have the earnings growth that we see in here driven by GDP. And next is falling interest rate. Falling interest rate. Do you see falling interest rate or not? I already say banyak orang dah complain that kita punya interest rate bank charge banyak juga kan. So that has also been a really a problem that we see. We are paying more for our food. Today I went to buy my favorite char kway teow. Oh, they already raised price already. Raised 2 ringgit in the shop there. So this is where we see the problem inside. Interest rate is being put up by the Bank Negara. So far, this last round, they did not raise the interest rate, right? They kept it steady, but previously they raised the interest rate. Everybody almost want to hang because they got property to pay, car loan to pay, mortgage to pay, and also school fee. If you're private school, you have to pay for that. And that is causing it. So this must have 4 criteria, essentially to see the market to go higher. Now, of course, we've seen this one. This was an earlier slide. The only bullishness that the market had right now coming from a low base is the banking stocks. Okay, so the banking stocks is because there will be a bit of growth in here, and you're coming in from a very low risk, low risk to high reward, which I've shared with you in the chart in here. So the banking stock may be a good play in the longer term run. Now, 2 things that Malaysia and Thailand have right now. At this point, what are those? I think many of you would have known, right? Come on, guess it. I know Noor and we got Amil here like to guess punya. What is similar between Thailand and Malaysia right now? Sekarang ni in Bangkok dan in Selangor lah, Selangor we can say, Selangor, Kedah, Negeri Sembilan, Pulau Pinang. These are what in common? What common do you have there? Come on, pencil those in there. I want to hear that. Is the election. So you can see right now on top of me here, the Thai Parliament is going to vote for the Prime Minister on July 13. He's going to be voting for Prime Minister on July 13. And this is really very critical. So that's why you notice the Thailand one is the green line. Tengok green line here. Didn't jalan for the last 3 bulan. This is also partly due to because foreign funds don't dare to come in. And Malaysia baru hari ini February 12, EC, Election Commission, set the date as the polling date for the state election in the last 6 states. Also same problem. They know this state election has to come. So that's why foreigners who tak datang. So these are the 2 things. So I look into August 12 or maybe August 13 where the market can recover. Okay. Now coming from what I've just said before, we have a very low base. Finance sector and also the industrial part. Technology will jalan one. If you're in technology, you'll jalan, and make sure you get the tools like I talk about with NS or 18-day line change. So even the KLCI is coming down macam ni kan. You get the NS, good risk to reward, and you get some of those nice stage 2 shares akan jalan punya. So then you will understand the whole perspective here where you are with good understanding of the market, the support that I will continue to give you on this free live Facebook. It will put you in the right position in here because right now you have these 2 dates that is causing the market here. And remember what Warren Buffett say, be fearful. No, be greedy when others be greedy, others are fearful, and be what? Be fearful when others be greedy when others are fearful, right? And what's the other one? I can't remember the other state, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So I forgot that face, the Warren Buffett face. All I know is that right now, bad news. It's time to be thinking of buying, especially when you have a low risk to a high reward level in here. I hope that's the message I want to share with you tonight in here. And do take note, this coming Friday morning, I'll be away again. I have another meeting to go to. So unfortunately, the Friday, I could not do the breakfast show. But do take note, this coming Friday, the breakfast show will be cancelled. Now on our date, 2023, the Malaysian state elections, right? This is the nomination on the 29th of July, which is happening this week. So from now on here onwards until the state election that we see on the 12th of August, then you will see a lot of, ceramah sini, ceramah sana, and you will have many of, even our Prime Minister were coming in to do Dato Sri, the 10th Prime Minister Anwar, and also you will have the old Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir will do his round, Anwar will do his round, and this is going to be causing a lot of uncertainty, especially in the KLCI market, which you'll also be experiencing on the Bangkok side of it. I was in Bangkok about 2 weeks ago, so I saw this happening here, and there's a lot of similarity between these two markets, and that also explains why others are coming, freebies coming. Yep. So possible opportunity right now, it will be on those non-Bursa FBM KLCI shares, which is not those big cap stocks, right? And partly because they are influenced by smart money, and the insider buying and selling that we have from BSA 360 will also help you. The floating shares definitely will be the smaller floating shares where they can control it, and it is in the penny stock realms, which means if this is where you want to make money, right now the KLCI, you have to be focusing on the penny stocks. The longer term, like the banking stock, you have to have a higher, longer perspective in here. So set up your monitor watches on the VSA 360. Yeah, in our VSA 360, you can always put up the, let me just show you how to do that. Right, if you like this stock, you can put on Samaden. All right, put it in there, and you just set up in the alert. Okay, and you have the upper price, lower price, risk reward is 0.64, and then create that alert, and it goes into your alert. So that's how simple is it. So this is definitely one way you want to set up your alert and pinpoint when to enter the next trade in here. So don't miss the boat. Try out our VSA 360, NS, and 18-day line change. And finally, for our summary in here, you will notice, if you are no doubt, my message is the KLCI right now is coming down, but you look up, this is a chart where you want that chart to go straight up in the stage 2 share, punctuated by NS, followed by an 18-day line change. And if you have that insider buying and support, that is something very powerful in here, buying on dips in here. All right, and of course you can also find NS, the bar on the SmartRobie in here. And right now, do you see any NS? Belum lagi, yeah. Belum lagi. So, and not many line changes. So got line change, but followed by uptrust. So market cannot go up yet. Okay, so take out the UT, take out the resistance around the 1319 for 1400 is critical this level before we see up in here. And for summary, what we want to talk about is buying on dip is really a right strategy for the NS strategy. If you're looking at the small cap stock in here, and of course, like what I've said early on, going back as early as January, February, March, the US market is another good area to be looking at, and stick to the technology stocks in here. Find out how VSA timing works, join all our evening talks, or even becoming a member of our premium list in here and get hold of VSA 360. A small price to trade, but plenty of investment on wisdom, your wisdom going forward in here, and helping you to take profit looking at NS and buying on the mid cap and small cap stock. So that's all we have for tonight. Thank you for coming in here, and do take note, right? If you have any question you want to post off, feel free to post it now in here, right? So all are short term. Nora is asking, I would say the banking stocks and the industrial longer terms are okay, right? Because you're coming from a very low base in here. But if you are trading in the shorter side, then you can use some of the 18-day line chain and NS. Okay, so that's all we have, and do share this video in your timeline, and don't forget to subscribe to our Telegram chat room for all our stock market video. Thank you for your support. Thank you all. Thank you for coming tonight, and take note, I'll be back next Monday, because on Friday I'll be away again in here, and for so Friday breakfast show will be cancelled in here. I wish you all the best, and good. Invest on yourself, invest your opportunity in looking for wisdom, opportunity in helping others too. All right, that's all I have, and Good night.